Hello everyone, it's your friend Rick. It is Saturday, April the 29th, 2017. If you need to contact me, it's rick0327 at me.com. Alright, what you're looking at here is the pacer of my federal lawsuit. And at the time I wasn't calling it a federal lawsuit because I was practicing common law. Well, not practicing, I was using common law. We're a common law country. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys, because I was doing a video yesterday, I forgot that I can do this now. I used to talk about this back in the day, when I used to hold my camera up with my two hands because I didn't know how to do this, I'm not the most capable person on the computer. I know how to work documents and stuff, but I didn't know how to do this, how to do a screensaver video recording. So I'm going to show you guys what I did, okay? And you're going to see I know what I'm talking about. So whenever I say that I was using common law, I did. And it's funny, a couple of years ago when I met Ahmed Osiris, we were talking on the phone, and I go, "Yeah, I'm gonna use common law." He goes, "Yeah, well, good luck with that." It's funny. I laugh at it now. He was like giving me a heads up. He was right. And you got to understand something with common law. It's really not that hard, and I'm gonna show you. And I didn't realize it at the time because it was like a new thing for me, and it was really simple. Because like some of you guys, like this stuff's kind of easy to me now, but I've been doing it longer than you guys. But at the time, I was a little overwhelmed with a lot of this stuff. I progressed into what I am, and that's why I mix in common law with their words and stuff because there's nothing worse than being ignored. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys some of my paperwork that was ignored, and it was really good stuff. Because I get some people. And maybe I sound like I'm being sensitive, and I'm not, because what I'm doing here, I don't get into details with things, especially when I'm driving in my car. I'm just talking to you guys. I call it a video blog. So if I use certified mail instead of registered receipt, okay, I understand what registered receipt is. I don't know anybody that's been hurt by sending certified mail. We just need proof that it got there. Okay? Especially when you're sending it registered receipt to an agency. See, you know what's good about registered receipt? When you want to get to a specific person. Okay? So if you want to send it to a specific lawyer and an agency, then you use registered receipt. But it's not that important if you're sending it to an agency. Certified, I've never had it come back to me yet. And I showed you guys the envelope with all of those receipts. I've never had a problem with certified mail. So, I didn't get into it. So one guy, I don't know what his situation is. He made it. See, I approve my comments now because I got to, I've been catching a lot of trolls. And the guy's a wise guy, telling me I need to go on a vacation because I guess he thinks I'm being a little sensitive because in my response yesterday, I referenced because I'm like, guys, don't make any. I know the difference between pro se and service jury and propria persona. I know all of these things. That's why I'm saying I did it. I'm going to prove it to you today. Okay? I'm just telling you that you want these people to answer your paperwork because the thing with common law is they're not going to let you win. I don't know if there is anybody on the internet, I haven't seen it yet. There are a lot of videos on YouTube of people, and listen, these guys know what they're talking about. I'm not saying they're wrong. Again, I'm not saying they're wrong. I just don't know of anybody that's got any evidence that they actually won their matter. All right? I made a video back in November where I highlighted it. It said my support order was vacated, and it was vacated from 2 years ago. So in other words, from September 24th, 2014 till November 16, 2016, 2 years, and 2 years that I'm collecting my money, which I'm still working on getting back, Okay, it was vacated. They don't do that too often. Okay, it's very difficult to get these people to vacate, and I got it done. And I got it done by using my own way. Uh, I use a little bit of their rules. I also sprinkle in a little bit of threats to sue these people. I've in my older videos, from a month or two ago, I'm a big proponent of you got to threaten these people with a lawsuit. Okay, and yesterday I was showing you guys the exemplified certificate from federal court because I'm gonna be moving, and I'm gonna try again. I'm not a quitter. They're gonna probably try in federal court and claim that the judges have absolute immunity. And here's the thing: it's like any other law or any other case law. What they do is they'll take a case law where it says, and this, by the way, this is when it's specific to a case. What they do is they take it and they apply it to everybody. So absolute immunity, the way I understand it, is if they're in the ballpark, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have subject matter jurisdiction. Okay, if a judge is not allowing me access to the courts, is ignoring all of my evidence, refusing to avoid judgment when I'm showing evidence. See, they claim that if you don't have any evidence, that they don't have to do it. Well, I can't be any clearer than a document that was issued by a woman who is a non-judicial court administrator, referee, altering a divorce agreement, which is a contract issued in a court. So it's a judicial order. So what she did was, it's called forgery when you're altering a document. And I tried to have it vacated under Federal Rule 60B. Now let me show you how I did it. Okay. Hold on here. Well, let me show you my order to show cause that I was showing you guys yesterday. And then when you see this, you're going to understand why they're not giving it to me, probably because it's pretty damning evidence, and it's proof that they were conspiring with each other. Okay, when I asked Judge Margot K. Brody to void judgment, and then I serve her with an order to show cause. Where is it? Okay, here's a notice rebutting presumptions. Okay. Here's a notice of demand writ quo warranto. And here's the order to show cause. Now, see what I did here? Relief, CF, compared to Federal Rule 60B. Because, look, this is common law. The only thing I probably shouldn't have had it is federal court, but I put it in like quotation marks, like no. And see, District Court of the United States for Eastern District, I, a man, claim all herein be true. My word is my bond. I, a man, Richard Warman Jr., a man aggrieved, wronged, harmed, claimant, prosecutor. Okay? You don't see me using pro se. You don't see me using surus jury or, propria persona. I'm going with I'm a man. Because that's what guys out there like Carl Lentz, I think this guy Bill Windsor, a couple of guys. And these guys are sharp. I wouldn't even, I wouldn't even question them. So what you do is you're claiming you're a man. See, when in the Constitution, you're a man. You're a people. And what they do is they change our status. Obligor, payor, natural person, assumed father, whatever. So, excuse me. Sudeep Kaur, a woman and wrongdoer, a non-judicial. I had to add this stuff, unfortunately, because they weren't going to accept my papers there. And you know what? I didn't want to get into an argument with these people. But if you see here, I'm trying to sue them, or have them for trespass, not sue, trespass, in their private person or private, as a woman, as a man. And if you read how I did it, Wrongdoers, not defendants, not respondents, wrongdoers. Order to show cause, void judgment ab initio, meaning from the beginning. Okay, they accepted it. Now see here, it's a simple mistake. Believe it or not, you can always fix it. Cross it out with a pen, and what you do is, right around here, I didn't do it here, you can initial it yourself. And you know what it does also? Sometimes you look at some of my paperwork, it has a few typos here and there, and I'm not going to lie to you. You know, some of them are real typos, but some of them I put in there intentionally because it makes it look authentic. I don't want these people thinking that you guys are downloading these things from the internet. So if you make a spelling error here and there, it's to make it look authentic. Okay? See, the Wammen court? It's my court. It's my court. It's not the judge's court. It's my court. Judges are basically referees. But because they've taken over the courts, it's, you know, they've made it, they're not going to give it back to us. They don't want us to, and they don't want to give it back. And that's another reason why I didn't realize at the time. And, you know, on the internet, I couldn't find anybody with any actual, you know, wins on the internet showing that they actually won their case. You know, and if there is, and I'm not aware of it, please show me. Okay? But the real reason is they don't want anybody to have this, because then it's basically a case law. They don't want this stuff to rise up in the courts. They don't want a regular person like myself or anybody else to walk into a court, okay, be my own prosecutor, seat my own jury. And if I was like fantasizing, like I was gonna be like telling the jury, you see that person sitting over there, that judge was really a magistrate. In a common law, there are no judges. They're magistrates. I don't want you listening to him or her, because they're not allowed to interfere. They're just there to make sure equal protection is provided. That's what they're there for. They're a referee. You know, back in the day, they used to drive around, not drive, but be carried by horse and buggy, and they would drive around administering justice. And it wasn't, you know, you can't seat juries all over the place. They would seat a jury in a town. And here's the reason why. You want to be seated by peers, people that you know. That's the thing with peers. People like we don't realize what a peer is. A peer is somebody that's like in your if you're a middle class person, you don't want some rich person. That's not your peer. You want somebody that's that knows you. That way, when the evidence is provided, they could say, "Oh, that doesn't sound like Rick. That doesn't sound like John. You know, it doesn't sound like Sally." You know, that they know. So that's the reason for a peer thing. And I heard a guy tell a story about how he forced a judge or magistrate to seat a jury of peers, and he had the court officers or the sheriffs driving around trying to find a jury of peers, because the jury system is wrong in our country. Judge Scalia, in his 1992 decision, Williams versus, I forget it, but there's a fourth branch of government. All right, you got the executive, judicial, legislative. The fourth branch is the common law grand jury. Okay, so but we've lost that. Okay, and because the bar association took over the courts, and you know they're not good. That's why you got all these strangers, jury duty showing up, and they don't want, these lawyers don't want jury trials because they can't control the jury. But forget about it if you had a jury of peers. All right, but let me get back to this now. All right, and Margot K. Brody. Now this is the order to show cause here was because she would not, no matter what I did, she would not grant me my void judgment. Didn't matter how much evidence I provided, she was just ignoring me. So this day I show up there and they accepted my paperwork. I was telling you guys yesterday, they had me pacing the hallways for 2.5 hours. And what they were probably doing upstairs, they were looking over my paperwork and they were trying to figure out what they're going to do with me. Because I was really sharp at this point. I was really good. And I'm going to show you. And I don't want this to be a super long video. I'm going to do this in parts. I'm going to break it down and show you my paperwork and make my case to show you guys that, basically what I'm doing is I'm providing proof that I did practice common law one time. Okay? And to show you guys that I did file paperwork in the federal court. And to show you guys that I got screwed. Okay? And to prove to you that, common law is maybe not the way to go, and prove to you why. Okay, so what happened here, I was told that I cannot have the order to show cause until I notified the attorney right here. And this is another comical thing. And some people out there know this who are dealing with the attorney general in their state. The attorney general, turns out, who's supposed to be the people's attorney, who is elected by the people. That means if you're elected by the people, you represent the people. You don't elect the commissioner for the EPA, because the commissioner of the EPA represents the EPA. Okay? You don't elect the commissioner of the police department, because the commissioner of the police department represents the police department. Let everybody a little secret. Don't really represent you and me. They're really there to protect the property. That's why they're police policy enforcers. That's all they are. So I had to notify this guy, Christopher Colston, who was the assistant attorney general. And the attorney general of New York State was representing all these wrongdoers here, instead of representing me. Okay? So, here, I am moving an order to show cause in the Wildman Court before Judge Brody, who is administrating according to common law. I go off on my tangents. I'm going to actually plan it a little better. I'm actually going to write it up on a piece of paper. That way I don't get sidetracked. But I want to show you guys what I did. I wasn't playing around with these people. And nothing, I was ordering her. I was telling her that her orders are void and everything. But anyway, here we go. I object to having to notify anyone. I had to notify this guy, Chris Colston. I had actually sent him a copy of this so he can show up for an order to show cause for a void judgment, which is nonsense. A void judgment is a void judgment. There is no defense for it. There is no defense for a void judgment because it doesn't exist. I remind the court that a judgment is a void judgment if court that rendered judgment lacked jurisdiction of the subject matter or of the parties, or acted in a manner inconsistent with due process. I probably cut and pasted that. Federal Rules, Procedure Rule 60B4, okay? Exhibit A, September 24, 2014, purported court order which assessed retroactive child support. Now this is the order that I had vacated, okay? Now that should have helped me too, but they were ignoring me. And by the way, when I was doing this, it wasn't vacated yet. Okay, so what happened here, which assessed retroactive child support, they retroactively increased my child support. That's how my arrears came about. So it wasn't because I wasn't paying child support. This piece of shit, sport magistrate, says instead of paying $697, I should have been paying $1131. See, which is, you can't do it; it's illegal. But this is showing you guys what they'll do to protect each other. Okay, increase payments to $1131 biweekly over the agreed upon $697. $697 biweekly was the maximum amount of child support at the time. Blah blah blah. I'm not going to go into all of this, but I'm telling her that the reasons why this is a void judgment. Okay. Order to show cause habeas corpus. I, man Richard Wildman, one of the people, requires the order to show cause for the following. If she chooses to deny order to show cause, she must answer these questions. Now, if you want, you could freeze it and read this. I'm going to get to the points where I believe the judge didn't want to answer it and then she handed it off to the other judge. Okay? I'm going to go nice and slow. You can freeze it. Okay, now I'm going to get over here the reason why. Margot K. Brody to show lawful cause, forcing the claimant to notice the wrongdoers for avoiding void court papers. You know, you gotta understand something. If I gave the copies of these papers to the other lawyer, he might have walked into the friggin' Attorney General's office himself of New York State, showed him what's going on, and a phone call could have been made to the judge, because by the way, this judge used to work for New York City Corporate Counsel. So she used to represent all the city workers whenever a city worker was sued. So she's probably represented child support people in the past. Okay? I want to, hold on. I'm showing her the more proof why its due process was violated. I have the letter from the clerk of family court where her required signature is not on any documents created by Sudeep Kaur, which is required percent. You guys know that 28 USC 1691. This is proof that Exhibit A is not consistent with 28 USC, not consistent with court of record. Also, she told me that family court does not conduct trial by jury. You can't get any. That's a violation of the 7th Amendment. It's also a violation of New York State Constitution. All right, I can talk about the 7th Amendment. I just want to. What happened was I started asking her when was the 4th Amendment suspended? When was the 7th Amendment suspended? Show cause for refusing to sign an order, void ab initio, Sudeep Kaur documents which would let the claimant a man to be set to reverse the harm and caused by these void judgments. And these are all the case laws, and you could freeze it and read it if you want. All right, but again, I don't want to do a 30-minute video here. I'm showing you, my order to show cause, and this was rock solid. I should have never lost this. And talk about me going to severe depression, severe strain on my marriage. I'm giving them, describing them the harm that I suffered. I have discovered massive corruption in my search for relief, and as a retired law enforcement officer, I've lost all faith in justice in the courts. I have discovered in courts a pattern of lawlessness and procedures that deprive people of their civil rights every day, and I can prove it. I, man Richard Wama Jr., has noticed the court that I'm not a member of a legal society, and I am moving this claim into the court under common law, the law of the land. Okay, so here's what a common law notice looks like, and you don't. One YouTuber, he's right. You don't ask. We're not, and I'm a proponent of that myself. You're not asking them. You're telling them, because you have a right. It's your court, so you're telling them. That's what I was doing. I was ordering. I was ordering the judge to sign papers, but she was just ignoring me. Okay, so listen. This is like a part 1 video. I'm gonna get back to you guys and show you more of the paperwork. Look at all, these are all the notices, by the way. Look at this. This is insane. I covered everything. So any expert out there telling me that I should have done this and should have done that, I did it. Okay, look. Notice the convening a court of record. Notice rebutting presumptions. Notice of the King's Bench. Let me show you what the King's Bench is. It means it's my bench, my court. The purpose of this amendment is to clarify and take notice that the King's Bench is the authority of the court, and that a court of record is a court that proceeds according to the common law under the authority of the people. Extraordinary remedies, the writs of mandamus we command, quo warranto, King's inquiry of usurpers, habeas corpus, release from unlawful imprisonment, and some others are sometimes called extraordinary remedies. Okay? So just give you guys a brief breakdown of what I did. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, I really did a good job here, and I should have never lost this. And just to prove you guys that I was stonewalled. I mean, I did really good. I mean, this is a lot of, look at this. That is a lot of stuff. All right, so listen, I'm going to go on my vacation because I'm so stressed out and I'm so sensitive and I can't handle it. All right, I don't need anybody making comments, questioning my stuff. All right, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I get it. You know, that's not nitpicking. Some people like to nitpick. It's very easy to take a word that I said and then go on the computer and cut and paste and say, oh, you know, you're using the postal service and it's really the post office. Like, come on, let's not get carried away now. All right, now we're getting a little nutty, you know. I know you're a very intelligent person. You need to show me how smart you are. See, when I started my channel, it wasn't to show you people how smart I was. It was to help people, okay? And I'm still not smart, and if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. I have no problem admitting it. That's one thing about me. I'm a pretty humble guy when it comes to stuff like that. Okay, I just don't like when people come in the comments section and nitpick over stuff that would not affect your life. It won't cause you to lose your case. Okay, just like if there's a typo in my paperwork, I told one person yesterday, I said, you know, I made a mistake. I go, yeah, I made a mistake. It won't cause you to lose your case. If I make a typo in law, then we got a problem. But I haven't, not yet. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend.